Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Paid Search Podcast. My name is Jason Rothman. As always, I'm joined by the great Chris Schaefer. Chris, how are you doing? I'm a little worried about you today. So I want to ask you, how are you doing? You better not say, doing good. Weather. Oh, the weather. Oh, my t-shirt. Oh, doing good. Tacos. I love tacos. No.
Yeah.
How are you doing? I'm a little worried about you. You don't seem like yourself. I was 7
Jason,
minutes late. Maybe
yeah.
it's that. You could be a little angry about that. I don't know, but what's going on? I hope it's just that, but I don't think
Over
it
the
is.
years, it started with 1 minute, and then we were consistently about 3 minutes late. And now, you've got Jason. You got a growing family. It seems like your lateness is just increasing, and I just have to deal with it.
That's really all that's bothering you? That's really what has you this down is 7
Jason,
minutes?
I run. If my day was a ship,
Yeah.
it'd be the tidiest ship ever. Clean.
I know you
distinct
don't
lines.
you don't have the discipline, the intellect, or the human capital to be a pilot, but you sure look like one. So
Thank you.
The eye roll, that one hurt.
Pilot, yeah, no. The
You look like a
intellect
pilot.
kind of hurts. The intellect part, I'm hung up on.
Just
tripped
taking
on that one a
shots.
little.
Just taking shots. You know I'm kidding around.
But
No,
I know pilots, and
you look
they're
like a
good
pilot.
people.
Yeah, you look like
sharp.
a pilot. You want to be right on time, and you have a problem with authority. We all know that, and so you're not a pilot for a big airline, but you're like you're a private plane pilot. I think is what you are.
So I'm not at the intellect level to be here, but if I was, I still wouldn't even be able to be there. I'd be a private.
No, that's probably a better job is to fly private.
Yeah, I imagine it's less
So
regulations
what I'm
and rules
saying,
and stuff.
what I'm saying is take it as a compliment.
Okay.
But Chris, honestly, I'm just joking around. I would never talk to you this way, and you're deflecting. So what's bothering you? Because I know it's not the 7 minutes. You look dejected. You look tired.
No.
You look all right.
No, I do not.
All right, I'll back off. Okay, I'll back off. I'll back off. I reached out to a friend in need.
I spent the whole weekend fishing at down about 30 minutes away. Beautiful pond, stocked pond. Spent the whole weekend there. Learning to fish. I'm still new at fishing, but caught a. It's just, like a catch and release kind of thing. I don't really need the meat. I've got plenty of meat, and no, I'm on top of the game. I mean, I'm good.
All right,
rested.
Good. All right.
Tidy ship.
Well, if I show up on time next week and you come with the same
then
energy,
you'll know that I was lying.
Then we're going to figure out what's going on. And we're going to do 60 minutes digging into you and solely you and what's bothering you and what's on your mind.
Problem? Yeah, that'll be interesting.
And you just kind of sit back and just talk, and we'll see what's going on with you.
Yeah.
But it's really good to see you. I missed you. And Chris, I think the theme of last week's episode was Google turning the page with automation and machine learning and artificial intelligence, and not just knowing the search terms, but somehow tying the user to the pages they've been on and the websites, and kind of getting to the other side of marketing, which is not just the search, but also the person behind it, but all doing it in a very privacy enabled way these days that every company has to follow. And they seem to have turned the corner. And then this week we get news about a simpler way to measure events and conversions and all that kind of stuff, and making things even easier. And a few weeks ago, we talked about how when you go to the conversion page, you can type in your website, and if you have Google Analytics, all of a sudden it's a lot easier to set up conversions. Well, now we're taking it to the next level with an evolution of the global tag, the global site tag. I think is becoming the Google tag, and you'll kind of walk us through that. And I'm very much looking forward to getting into that with you and seeing what we can learn here together.
But first, Optio is the #1 Google Ads management assistant tool. You have questions about Google Ads. You're always wondering, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? What have I missed? Optio is the tool to help you make those decisions cleanly and simply. It is a tool that helps you look at the most critical issues in your Google Ads account, provide you with a page full of statistics, analytics about what that change could mean, why that change is suggested by the system. You then decide, do I push that change forward or do I hold back? This system is your idea generation tool. It is your analytics tool. It is your reporting tool. It is your dashboard tool. It does so many things. It can help you to keep your KPIs with alerts. It can help you keep your budgets on focus. It's the only tool that I use to help me with my Google Ads, and I think you should try it. At optio.com/PSP, you can do just that for free for 2 months. You get 8 weeks for free of that tool exclusively because you heard it here, optio.com/PSP, to take advantage of that special offer.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So let's talk about this nice document you found.
Yeah.
And we'll share that in the description and what it tells us. And I just want to start with, why does Chris care? What you've so many years in the game, you know what you're doing with your search terms.
That's a good
You have
question.
conversion set up, you have global tags set up. But this thing just caught your eye, and it's all you wanted to talk about. And you just blew me up in the chat. You sent me like 4 links, and you were like, we better talk about this next week or I'm going to beat you up.
Yep.
And I was like, yes, sir. And so, man, it really caught your eye. Why is this so attractive to you? Why do you find a level of attraction to this like most of the listeners find to your face?
Yeah, on a podcast. That's
Mr.
important. Now,
Private Plane Pilot.
Yeah, Mr. Private, not American Airlines level, just like a little no. Yeah, I got you,
Chris. Everyone knows it's more of a compliment to be a private jet pilot, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
for billionaires. Is that?
For billionaires. I guarantee you.
Like Paris Hilton and me are like traveling to Alabama or wherever she goes all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Showing your age there. Name a celebrity. Oh, the celebrity from 2002. Yeah.
Paris Hilton. Yeah. Emmett Smith. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, why did this catch your eye so much? Why did it impact you?
So,
buddy?
Jason, tell me, yes or no? Well, it's not really yes or no, but would you agree? You're setting up a brand new account. One of the most stressful things about setting up a new account for us is not the Google ads, right? We have that figured out. Like, we know what keywords to pick. I mean, all people have to do is pay one of us to set up and manage an account, and we can do it like hound dogs, just straight to it, right?
Yeah.
The scariest part is the conversion tracking and the Google tag, the G tag, the event tag, the global site tag, all this different stuff, getting people to put it on this page and then telling them, okay, the global site tag has to go on every page. And then you take your event snippet code and put that only on the thank you page. Don't put it anywhere else or it'll mess up all my conversion tracking. I spend more time explaining this than I do why I pick the keywords, because they just shut up and listen and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, obviously. And then with this, I have to send it to some crazy developer who's like, acts like he's never done this before in his life, and this is a brand new thing that nobody's ever asked for, and he gets it wrong every time. My conversions are screwed for the entire month, and that's what scares me. It's something I wish wasn't such a part of my daily build routine, but it is. And so that's why it catches my eye, because anything that makes that part of my life simpler, I'm interested in.
Yeah, I will agree with you in the sense where I feel the least confident, and I hate that feeling of lack of confidence, is when we have to deal with conversion tracking. Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be complicated. In a lot of cases, it's not. But what makes conversion tracking for lead generation so difficult is that there's so many. Every website is custom, and there's so many different ways you can track the same three things: calls from ads, calls from website, and lead forms. And in a lot of cases, we get it done, and we're able to get the full vision of what we're getting for that Google Ads traffic and spend. But Chris, you know this as well as I do. In a lot of cases, it's not perfect because there's
Yeah.
that one form that's hard to track, or there's that one form where someone completes it, it goes to a third-party website, and that doesn't integrate with Google Ads, and it's not tough, it's not sad, because you can like get enough conversion data in those cases, and you can track search terms and all that, and have confidence that way. But when you get to the other side of the rainbow and you see the pot of gold, and you've seen what it's like when you know exactly how many leads you're generating with Google Ads and what's generating those leads, and if you can ever get there, what the value of those leads are.
Yeah.
It's such a different experience managing those kind of campaigns, and the level of power you feel in your hands to make money for people and help them get profitable. It's such a great feeling, and so it just kind of sucks when you're not there. So yeah, it's a complicated thing, and hopefully this gets us one step closer to less complicated. So what's the news here? What has changed?
Yeah. So basically, if you're familiar with any of this stuff we're talking about, there's this thing called the G tag. And it is a specific piece of JavaScript that you put on your site, and it does magical things of tracking visitors and stuff like that. Okay. And if you've been around in Google Ads for a while, or analytics, or websites, or whatever, then you know that this is, this whole cookie thing is disappearing. And this is in response to that. This is a new
Interesting.
reusable tag, and that's what I want to make sure I try and explain and get into, is this whole reusable tag. It's built on the G tag thing, but it has new features, new things that you can do, and I want to get into what it does, and some questions I have, some issues and things like that. But basically, the global site tag is, as they say in Google, it's being sunsetted. That's what they do. They take it behind the shed and they kill it. That's
okay, so we just have to take a step back here, because there's a lot going on. So number one, the Google tag is a single reusable tag built on top of your existing gtag.js, which I understand you say gtag, I say global site tag.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing. So basically, they're adding the Google tag as a reusable tag to be built on top of your existing Google global site tag, right? And for customers using the Google Tag Manager, you will not experience any changes to your setup today. But here's the thing. But stay tuned for future updates. So this is all new, Chris. But when I was reading this, my understanding of it was essentially global site tag is now becoming the Google tag.
Yeah.
And if you have a global site tag, I don't think you have to do much right now, but it will become the Google tag over time, is my understanding. And when we talk about sunsetting, will the global site tag be sunset? And they say the global site tag branding will be sunset, but the tag itself will not. The global site tag installed will continue to operate as normal. So I think that's my bit of good news here, is that if you've done the tag thing where you got your global site tag, and then you have your event snippets like the calls from website and calls from, or thank you page visits and all that, it sounds like, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my global site tag in place, and I'm just going to see what happens. And I want to be educated on this new Google tag, the new branding, and or the new tag that this global site tag becomes. But for now, I'm just kind of chilling is what I'm doing. I'm just kind of keeping it cool. But that's what's going on, is that it's kind of evolving into the Google tag, if I have that correct, Chris.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what everyone's doing at this point. I don't have any way to access this yet myself. I haven't been able to dive into it, but we have some screenshots and some information, and some of the basics involves like the the fact that this is only accessible from Google Ads and Google Analytics 4. So
So
that's
not universal analytics.
yeah. So number one, we know it's a very new thing because it's only GA4, Google Analytics 4. So the fact that Google Ads and GA4 are the only two that can use it, that's kind of cool. Like, we're part of the cool club. We're getting grafted in really early here. And one of the screenshots they show in the stuff I've looked up,
And we'll have a link in the description.
yeah, shows like the interface, a mock-up of what the interface is going to look like. And it one of the cool things is it shows like a tree kind of, I don't know, tree graph, tree chart, I don't know what they're
Flow
called,
chart.
but yeah, where you can see like, this is your Google tag and this is what it's connected to. It's connected to this and this and this, and you can add these connections. Like, this visual representation, this kind of dashboard view, that is so nice, because before you had to go 5-6 different places to kind of check, is it connected here, is it connected here. The old global site tag is just there, and then you have to find out what it's connected to. This kind of an interface overview dashboard kind of thing is great. I love that.
Yeah, and one of the things I've done forever with conversion tracking is sometimes it's a mix, but you kind of have to make the decision: do we want to track Google Ads traffic conversions through Google Ads, or do we want to track Google Ads traffic conversions through Google Analytics, and then link Google Analytics to Google Ads, and then import Google Analytics goals
Right.
into Google Ads to become Google Ads conversions from Google Ads traffic?
Right.
And whoever created that initial plan that you zigzag back and forth should just be held up against the wall and bowed down to and worshipped, because they were working with the best technology they had at the time.
Absolutely.
And they got us to this point, and they should be clapped at and praised when they walk through the halls of Google, because we would never be to this point. And even if I would say, well, we always should have been in one place with a tag that can go everywhere, that wasn't reality, and we would have never gotten to this point if it wasn't for people like them. So, Chris, as frustrated as the process was, it was as good as we had. So what do you want me to do? Like, we have to give credit where credit is due. But now we have more options, which is essentially, if I'm understanding things correctly, put this little freaking tag on your site, and then you can use multiple Google products all from that one tag. Google, tag. And right now, Google Ads and Google Analytics 4.
Yeah, and I mean, there's one thing that gets me particularly excited about this, and it harkens back to what I said at the very beginning. What's the most stressful part? It's getting that conversion tracking working right. What do they say immediately once they put it on the site? Hey, can you test it? Can you test to see if the code is on there right? And I have to basically say, well, no, I can't really test it, and I can look at the code. I can't really confirm that it's working until we start getting conversions. So there's all these things, and I hope that, and as it shows in the screenshots, I mean, there's buttons in there that says manage the automatic event detection. So what I'm assuming this is you can create event tracking inside this G tag to say, when this happens, track it as an event, and then you can assign that event as a conversion in Google Ads. I mean, these are wonderful prospects. And if there's anything that we've talked about on this show a lot, is the fact that if you're not doing conversion tracking and you've been running, for months, years, then what are you doing on Google Ads? I mean, you should be taking your game to the next level. And if this makes it more accessible to people to be able to do that, I mean, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and so again, we'll share this screenshot, but what we're seeing here is under where you set up your Google tag, you can have automatic. Sorry, Chris. You can have automatic event detection, and so let's just talk about that for a second here, because from what I'm looking at here, the screenshot, Chris, I don't really see. I'm not able to see anything else except the screenshot. But it says right under where you set up your tag, and you have your installation instructions and all that, and it says "Welcome to the Google Tag." Gives you your tag, tells you how to set it up, and then in the settings, manage automatic event detection. Configure which type of events your Google Tag should automatically detect for measurement and associated destinations. So that's a very good sign there, because like I talked about at the top of the show, every website is different. 99% of them suck. No, I'm kidding. But sometimes it's rough with a bad website.
Yeah.
Every website's different, and every person's definition of a conversion is different. And so if they have something that says like, oh, anytime a phone number is clicked on your site, you want us to call that an event, or anytime a lead form is filled out on your site, you want us to call that an event, we're going to do that. Is that what manage automatic, Chris, here's the word, automatic event detection is? I don't know yet, but that's what I'm hoping it is, because I've seen other tracking capabilities out there that basically tell it, track any form fill on my site.
Yeah.
And this other piece of this other software knows what a form looks like, apparently, and then tracks that data. So I've always thought, why can't Google do that? And it looks like they might be doing that. The other thing here is it says configure your domain, specify a list of domains for cross-domain management. So I guess franchises come to mind, or there's
or subdomains.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Subdomains. Like
exactly. Yeah.
In analytics, if I have clients that when someone clicks on purchase, it takes them to a shop.website.com. It takes them to a separate subdomain. So now not having to set up this separate subdomain in a and having to go through extra steps for that, you can just add it to your destinations. Well, not destinations, but the domains. I think that's great. I mean, there's so much potential here to simplify things. The main thing I'm excited about is the potential to be able to do this in one screen. Before, if you were setting up conversions or tracking this, you had to flip back and forth between analytics and Google Ads. I've always thought that Google Ads has always gotten the short end of the stick for a lot of things. Analytics gets a lot of these power tools, and they used to have a much better navigation system way before Google Ads did. And now, Google Ads, of course, is Google's powerhouse of income. Why don't we get these things before everyone else? And now here we are. We're getting an ability to do this event detection, to add domains, to do things like this, inside of Google Ads. I think that is such great news. I'm really glad to see it, because I don't like having to swap back and forth and connect analytics in order to do this. We're even starting to see some audience collection that's happening inside of Google Ads. I assume audience collection now with this Google tag is going to be something that can actually be done in Google Ads, instead of connecting analytics and then importing the audience, sharing it from analytics, importing the audience into Google Ads, all that kind of stuff. That's a needless connection. All the data is still there. The tag is still there. Let's manage it from inside of Google Ads. I think that's great. I love that.
Yeah, so what we're getting at here is basically all we have to do as marketers, all we have to do as advertisers and business owners is come up with putting one tag on our site. It sounds like that's the idea, one tag, and then we can get all this data. And how do you get this data? How do you set all this stuff up? Like I said with cookies last week, who cares? That's not what I'm paid to do. The bottom line is they're making it easier to do a lot with just one tag. And Chris, I got to say, there's another platform out there. It's the one that's lost $500 billion of market cap over the last few months. But I
wonder who that is.
I wonder too. Maybe you can just see it and picture it when you put the goggles on and find out one day. But the thing is, Chris, one thing they always had going for them was that little pixel. It was like, just put this one little pixel on there, and then we'll tell you everything you need to know about the world. And that was nice. You just put that one pixel on there, and it sounds like we're maybe in this world now. So one other thing I just want to tell you about from this screenshot, and then we'll go to the final little image here, and then we'll take a break after that. But this doesn't have a box around it. I don't know if were these red boxes added by the great Chris Schaefer, or did these come from the screenshots?
If you're going to talk about the last one, I didn't box the last one. Okay, I didn't. Okay, it wasn't critical to me. But go ahead.
One. Okay,
go ahead.
Oh well, this one's critical, Chris, because I don't want to tease myself. I don't want to tease the audience, and most of all, Chris Schaefer. I don't want to tease you because I know how much this would mean to you. But I'm just going to read the words that I'm seeing. And again, we'll have the link in the description. I don't have a freaking link right now because my fake podcast producer, aka my co-host, who thinks he's a producer, who he's not, did not put the freaking link on our document here, and I have not been able to find where this is. So I'll have to find that after the show just to verify this, because this guy can't even fly a plane. But what I'm seeing here, Chris, is include user provide. I'm just going to read what I see, and I assume this is from Google documentation, and we will all have a link after the show, the audience and myself. Include user provided data from your website. Improve measurement and get more insights with data people provide to your website. Google will only use the data you share to provide you service, including technical support. Google will not share your data with advertisers. Okay, so let's break this down. Improve measurement and get more insight with data people provide to your website. So we're in the world of privacy. We're in the anti-cookie world. No more cookies for you. But if someone's going to give up the data and it's your website, I think it's your data. So what I'm seeing here, Chris, is possibly include user provided data. Does this mean we're closing the loop here? And we're going to get insights on not only the quantity of leads we're getting, not only how many calls we're getting, not only how many lead forms were filled out, but who called us, who filled out the lead form, what did they say in the lead form? If I'm reading that right, and I'm hoping is that we're going to close the final loop here of lead generation and tracking, and be able to figure out who filled out our form and who called us. I don't know if that's what this is, but that's how I'm reading it, and that's what I'm hoping. Now, Chris, if that's the case, that changes everything, because instead of, when you run a moving company, instead of getting 10 leads and wondering if any of those leads became a job, and wondering if, well, I'm spending all this money on advertising, I know I get leads, but would I get the same amount of jobs if I turned off my advertising? No, of course you wouldn't, but that's a temptation people have when they see that credit card statement and they see the cost going out the door. If they can actually know, no, of the 10 leads I got, these 4 people became jobs, and actually these jobs were worth X amount of money, and these were the biggest jobs on my calendar that month, that changes the game, Chris.
Yeah.
Now, sure. Am I being too hopeful, or does user provided data? I mean, and we're talking about leads here, and we're talking about tracking and conversions. Yeah. Am I being too hopeful, or do you think there's a chance that that's what's happening?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
But
I can dream and hope.
Let me. You talked about fishing before the show. I'm just fishing for some agreement here. Don't you see the power of that if that's what ends up happening?
Oh yeah. Because the number one thing clients want to know when we start getting leads is, can you tell me whose click that was? Can you tell me who that was, what time they clicked? Like intimate details about conversions.
And then we're not going to name. We're not naming names here, but the answer is yes, I can, but we have to go use these other third-party services.
Yes, yeah.
And that, of course, then leads to the problem with all this integration is, well, can you get that data back into Google Ads? It's like, yeah, we can mostly, but stuff has trouble talking to each other, and it's still tough. So if it's all in one place with this beautiful company called Alphabet, where Google is just a little subsidiary, it's just a little company inside a company,
little small piece,
that would really change the game. And honestly, Chris, I was not too excited about the Google tag before the show because, it's like, well, is it the global site tag? Is it not? Is the global site tag going away? I already have the global site tag. Why do I need this? Oh, buddy, if we can close the loop there,
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing. So let's talk about this last little screenshot that you put red boxes on, and then we'll take a break.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to this, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, just taking it into a meta level at this point. Not the failing company, but more of the actual term meta.
Wow.
The fact that you can name your tags, you can combine tags, because I see a lot of people that have multiple tags on their site. Like they'll have
Sure.
they'll hire an agency, and the agency's like, well, we're gonna get our own Google Analytics, on your site, and then they have the original people have their own analytics on the site, so now you can combine these tags, you can add destinations, you can share users, all within Google Ads. That's the main thing that I want to talk about here, is the fact that you can do all of this right from within Google Ads. That's the exciting part to me.
Not you, I. That's what you really are excited about. You can do all this inside your Google Ads accounts, Chris. I think that's what has you jazzed up about this.
Because
you
I don't have to rely.
You don't have to deal with developers. You don't have to deal with emails going back and forth for days and days and days. Now, are you talking about combining Google tags where you pull up the Chrome tag assistant, the Google tag assistant? It says legacy now, so I don't know if there's a new one. But in Chrome, you can add this extension, and it'll tell you how many pieces of Google tag are on the website. And then you see like 5 analytics, 17 global tags. And you're like, what have you been through, my young client? What have you been through? Like the pain you must have dealt with. And then you're always wondering, like, wait, if we have all these Google Analytics tags and all these global tags and all these conversions, like, does that mean we're double counting our traffic? Is our conversion data truly accurate?
And they interfere. They interfere with each other.
We've seen that where you have like 0% bounce rates and that kind of thing. So are you saying you think this combine your Google tags opportunity we're going to have with the Google tag basically means you can clean up tags that are on the site and basically say don't count them anymore?
Yeah, I think so.
Or all call them this one thing. Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the fact that you can add users and it says expand website coverage. So I think what that means is that you might have a different tag on a subdomain or some other part of the site, maybe different types of tags in different places. Maybe you're tracking different things, and the fact that you can combine these into one central location, I think that is wonderful. I like it, and overall, I'm happy with it.
All right. Well, let's sit back in our matching shirts again this week, and let's dance a little bit. And you can tell us after the break about something else you like, Chris.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Schaefer. With me is the great Jason Rothman, and I'm going to share again a reason for you to pull up your browser right now and go to opteo.com/PSP to get that 2-month free trial. I'm talking about it now. I'm going to keep talking about it because listeners keep signing up. They keep growing. This company is exploding. The tool is amazing. They keep reinvesting into this tool, and all kinds of things are coming up. They've been giving us a little bit of an insight into what's coming out this year and into next year. Some really exciting stuff. So now is the time to jump in to start trying and learning this tool. You're going to like it. opteo.com/PSP.
Okay, thanks, Chris. So, Chris, I mean, one of my things lately is just being a good partner, just being a good partner, and to all my business partners. And I was a little upset last night when I saw these notes, and or actually when I started looking into this, because you told me you want to talk about this. I look at it and it's like there wasn't much to it, and I was like, what are we going to talk about? But man, I'm so glad you did this, and reminding myself to be a good partner. I was like, you know what? Trust him. He's a great guy. He knows how to fish. And that's right. Just were you fishing alone out there, buddy?
No.
Okay,
my
good,
family stands behind me and encourages me the whole time. They just cheer as I bring in massive fish.
Catch and release, yeah. No, honestly, I was like, you know what? Let's trust his instincts. And I got to say, Chris, I really am excited about this because of the stuff we're seeing in here. I don't know
Yeah.
where you found this document because it's nothing I saw, and so I'm excited for that link.
Special,
But
I'm a premier partner, Jason. I have special access behind the scenes, so it's
great, man. Well, I'll check the description like everybody else. So let's talk about centralized site-wide tagging. Kind of break down what this is.
Yeah, so you can. This is basically just a breakdown of exactly what's going to happen with this whole thing. So basically, it says advertisers with multiple instances of the G tag, the global site tag, can now combine those tags and centrally manage their settings in the Google tag screen in Google Ads or Google Analytics 4. Okay, so the fact that you can combine these into one place, and then it goes on to further state that, and this is where I really wanted to focus, because people are like, great, I want this now. What do I do? What do I do? It says right here that existing global site tag implementations will continue to work and will automatically become the Google tag. So this is the best news of all, is you don't have to tear it down and rebuild it. It's gonna evolve for you, that's probably the best news. You get something new and you have nothing. You don't have to do anything to take action on it. I think that's really cool.
So essentially, inside of Google Ads and then inside of Google Analytics 4, you can do the new Google tag. If you're new to all this, you can tear all your old stuff down and put on the new Google tag. But if you have a lot of gtag.js stuff already in place, which I think includes the global site tag, it will continue to work and will automatically become the Google tag, or part of the Google tag, is how I'm thinking about it. So that's pretty cool. So it sounds like as new as all this is going to be to people, and as advanced as the capabilities are with all this kind of stuff that the one Google tag will bring us, it's simple in the sense that everything is still, or all the gtag.js stuff is still usable and becomes part of it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's one thing. I guess there's a back end, so what we don't see is
who cares? No, Chris, you got to stop that way of thinking. Stop that way of thinking. Who cares? It's not our business.
Don't look at the engine.
Yeah.
Just push the gas.
All right. So how to set up, or setting up the Google tag installation? What does that look like?
Yeah. So it says in the coming months. So I don't exactly know how long this is going to take, but instead of configuring your code and everything each time for new conversions and different things that you want to be able to track, it says that you can use your existing Google tag to do these things. And I think that is, to be able to use these and create that within the Google tag is really cool. And then it takes it a step further in its explanation and says, for those that are using HubSpot, Squarespace, or Wix, it calls out those three specifically, which is really interesting. It didn't include WordPress.
Wow.
WordPress is huge. It didn't include that, but HubSpot, Squarespace, or Wix, you'll be able to install the Google tag without any code at all. So those three, I know there's a lot of clients that I work with that are using one of those three.
Wow.
And to be able to install the Google tag without any code, just be able to punch the button and it, I assume maybe you connect your API or something like that. I'm not sure. And it adds it to the management system that you're using.
Website platforms, we do hear a lot like, hey, I'm on this platform. Is there an integration or something like that? And now it sounds like there will be. You can add the Google tag without any code at all. That's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the biggest takeaway for me on this is that we could have the potential to take away one of the biggest headaches on one of the most critical parts of Google Ads management, which is
critical
conversion tracking and site tag implementation. Getting all of that within one central area so that you can do that, set it up, track it, manage it, make sure it works right. It would be amazing if there was a test button that you could hit to say, yeah, we just tested, and yes, it's firing
Or
correctly. Or
here's
something
another one. Show me what the website looks like after I click on a Google Ads ad, so I can see if the phone number thing is firing.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, there's
hey, but Chris, you know what? Here's what happens with the show. We put stuff out there into the world that would make Google Ads a better product, even though it's already great, would make it better. And this stuff seems to be happening, you know? So if I want a website preview of what the website looks like after a Google ad is clicked, so I can see if the website phone number tag is firing and the phone number changes, I think they'll get there one day. Because how many times have I asked for, like, talked about how great it would be, not just if we knew how many calls we get or how many lead forms we get, but who called and who filled out the form. Sounds like that might be happening. How many times have you complained about emailing developers and all that kind of stuff and getting the tag set up? And then how many times have we both complained, or not complained, but just stated facts, you know, that we've tried the clicks on a button thing 1,000 different times, and it's worked 3 times, not 3%. 3 times out of 1,000 over the last 15 years. And then all of a sudden we get products like this, and it sounds like all of our dreams will come true. So, Chris, if the audience wants their dreams to come true with you and getting your help with Google Ads, where can they go?
They can go to chrisschaefer.com. There's a link in the description, and you can reach out to me. And the depth of knowledge that I have across e-commerce and lead generation is, some has said, infinite.
Okay, thanks, Chris. And I'm at rothmanppc.com. Link is in the description. I like businesses. I like businesses that help people and add value. I like helping those businesses and adding value for them so they can then go add value in their community. And I can close that loop for you and get Google Ads figured out. So I'm at rothmanppc.com. Chris, great episode, great topic. You're the man. You can do anything you want. You can fish, you can fly, you can swim, you can go anywhere you want to go. You're honestly a great guy.
Thank you.
The way your mind works is very impressive, because you see things before other people see things. You saw how important this topic was. You got me and the audience in on this topic very, very, very early. As all this stuff gets rolled out, we are now prepared for it, and we will succeed because of that help that you've given us. So I want to thank you for that. I just want to tell you once again how great you are. And I look forward to talking after the show, because we do talk off the air, and I'm looking forward to talking about everything with you and just being a great friend.
Are you trying to hit a word cap?
You are a great guy. You have a great sense of humor. You're great at CrossFit. And honestly, it's an honor and a pleasure to do this podcast with you every week. And I will see you right after the show when we talk off the air. But then after that, I will see you next week on the next episode of the Paid Search Podcast. Thanks, everybody.